Hello, and welcome to Maybe I Can, exploring possibilities one sprinkle at a time. If you've ever found yourself asking, is this all there is to life? Then you're in the right place. I'm Debbie, author, speaker, entrepreneur, and coach. And every Tuesday, I'm here to share a sprinkle of hope and inspiration. Together, we'll uncover the more joy, more fulfillment, more prosperity, more fun. We'll share stories of transformation, actionable tips, and that little nudge you need to take the next step. So let's embark on this journey of discovery and say, maybe I can, to a life filled with more. Ready to find out? Let's get started. The Maybe I Can show starts now. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm your host, Debbie Weiss, and I'm so glad to see you again today. Today, we are going to talk about visualization and how it can help you in achieving your goals. But before I get into any of that, I have two announcements that if you're listening to this in real time, because I don't even know, today is May 28th, 2024. And two things. The first is that I am looking for beta readers for my new book called The Sprinkle Effect, which is the essential steps you need to take to begin to transform your life. And a beta reader is somebody who agrees to read the book, do the activities and the exercises in the book, and then provide feedback. I give you a form with questions, and of course, there's room for you to write, other thoughts as well. The thing is, it does have to be done on a computer and within a 2-week window, and that 2-week window is going to be June 3rd to June 17th. So if you are interested, please sign up. There's a link in the show notes, and do it by, I'd say, May 31st to make sure you're in. And in order to say thank you, all of my beta readers are going to receive free access to my new course, which is called Maybe I Can Begin to Change My Life. And this course is for any woman who's trying to figure out kind of where do I go from here, reclaim her sense of purpose and direction. And that could be happening for, many different reasons. Maybe you're someone who recently got divorced or finds yourself as an empty nester, or this time of year, anticipating in the fall becoming an empty nester, or transitioning to a career, or maybe retirement, or maybe you're going through things like I did. Years ago, I had lost a major amount of weight, and it did kind of shift my mindset and my thinking as to where I go from here. And then, of course, I was a caregiver for many years, and once caregiving ends, you find yourself really reevaluating your life. Of course, as a widow, now, unfortunately, I'm about 1.5 years into claiming that title. This has certainly been my biggest life journey in figuring out my purpose and my new identity. Because when we go through these major life transitions, that's what it is. We lose our identity, or we lose that vision of what our life is going to look like, right? We have many times we have a dream or a thought in our mind, we think we know, and then for whatever reason, life pulls a rug out from under us, and we are like, what next? It could also be, maybe it has to do with a certain age. For me, turning 50, that was what started my transformation. So maybe you're feeling the same way. And when I came on that realization, I was lost as to where to go, to discover anything. And that is exactly why I've created everything that I have, because I want to be there for you to guide you through the process, that there's no guessing. You have all the tools that you need. Of course, you've got to work the tools yourself. They won't just work by listening or reading. You have to do the activities. That's why in the course, I've included a boatload of activities to help you discover yourself, find your passion, figure out what you want your next steps to be, right? And so in the course, it's 6 powerful modules plus all of these exercises. And just so you know, it is normally going to sell for only $47 because I want everybody to be able to take this course. Price should not be an issue. So as I said, for beta readers, it will be free. And starting next week's show, I will be having a discount code for the first couple of weeks before the course is actually available, which it will be on June 17th. So make sure to tune in next week and I'll give you the discount code, and it's going to give you a very hefty discount if you purchase it before it's available on June 17th. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's just get right into it and start to talk about visualization. Visualization is defined as a technique involving focusing on positive mental images in order to achieve a particular goal. So, when I originally didn't know anything about visualization, it kind of made me think about winning the lottery. Okay. I don't know about you. Chances are you're like me and many of us. You buy that lottery ticket, and for goodness sakes, I do this even when I haven't bought the lottery ticket. How ridiculous is that? You buy that lottery ticket and you think, wow, what would I do if I won that, $47 million or whatever it is? And I don't say I'd give, 2 million to this person and 2 million, but in my mind, I'm thinking I can help this person and I'll buy this person a house and this for my family, and we'll do all this and I'll donate money, right? And I'll keep this house, but I'll make some upgrades. Like, I really start to think specifically about what I'm going to do. And it's just such a lovely fantasy, at least for most of us, not the people I see on lottery. Gosh, I don't even know why I make mention of this. You'd think I'd know the name of the darn show, Lottery Dream Home Winners or whatever it is on HGTV. But for most of us, it's a daydream, right? It's a fantasy. It's a nice thing to kind of dream about. And that is just what it is. It's a dream. It's a daydream. It does differ from visualization because visualization is done with intention, with a conscious purpose, a desired outcome. The daydreaming is more like just unconscious thinking. Often it can really be a form of procrastination, right? Because daydreaming about this is a lot better than doing that unpreferred activity that I really should be doing instead. It's unfocused. With visualization, the idea is to put feelings behind it. And you don't really do that in daydreaming. And when you visualize, you are visualizing with a specific outcome in mind. So let me just tell you, I've got to get it out here, about this experiment that I find so interesting. It was done in 1996 by Dr. Blaslato at the University of Chicago. And he randomly chose a group of students to take a series of 3 free throws in basketball. And so he did a baseline experiment, had all of the students do a certain number of free throws, and then track the percentage that they actually made the basket. And then afterwards, he divided them into 3 groups and gave each of the groups different instructions. The first group, he told them for the next 30 days, don't touch a basketball, don't play basketball, don't practice basketball, don't think about basketball. The second group, he told them for the next 30 days, for a half hour every day, I want you to practice your free throws. And for the third group, he had them actually come to the gym for quote unquote practice every day for that same half hour. But instead of practicing free throws with their eyes closed, he told them to visualize making every single free throw. And after 30 days, he had them come back, actually take the same number of free throws. And what he found was the first group, who did no practicing at all, showed no improvement. The second group, who did actually practice every day, improved by 24%. And the third group, who just did the visualization and did not practice, improved by 23%. 23%. And they didn't pick up a basketball, compared to those that actually did practice 30 minutes a day, improved by 24%. Pretty much the same result. That blows my mind. I mean, how powerful is that? That if you spend dedicated time visualizing what you want your outcome to be, it's almost just as good as practicing. And in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, now imagine if I combine the two. Imagine if I practice and I visualize. This is an incredibly powerful tool. And the thing is that there have been studies done that say that visualization actually helps create new neural pathways in your brain. Our brains can't necessarily tell the difference between the actual experience and the visualization, right? That basketball study proves that. And so just visualizing, it can increase your confidence, your focus. It can help decrease anxiety, right? If you're nervous about something, which, your anticipation of something. And I'm thinking to myself, and I've tried this before, I used to be petrified of public speaking. Now, look, every time I get up to talk now in front of a group, I have that, butterflies in my stomach feeling, but I'm also excited. Before, I was terrified. And I would visualize me getting up there, me making eye contact with the audience, me seeing the audience engaged, laughing at what I said, coming up to me afterwards and telling me how impactful they found my talk to be. And doing that over and over and over again helped to reduce the anxiety when I was in the moment, because I felt like I had already lived it. I knew what it felt like to succeed at that, right? I mean, it felt like I had done it, and I had done it over and over and over again. And, so many athletes do this on a regular basis. I mean, Tiger Woods, Michael Phelps, they visualize many different things, right? There's actually 2 different types of visualization. There's one where you're visualizing the outcome, right? So you could be visualizing winning, I'll go with Michael Phelps, winning the race, right? He can see himself winning the race. He can see himself getting that gold medal. That's just visualizing the outcome. But then there's another technique called process visualization, where you are seeing yourself complete one step after another. So Michael Phelps could be, and I don't know anything about swimming, so I don't even know why I'm picking this, but every single stroke, how he's kicking, his arms, his breathing, his technique, how he's doing the flips, where other people are in comparison to him. He's visualizing the actual process. How many basketball players, football players, they're seeing the plays in their mind before ever stepping on that field or that court, right? They're visualizing themselves making the basket, making the passes, blocking, whatever it is, they see themselves going through that whole entire process. And so visualizing can actually relieve your stress. You can do the same thing for physical pain. It can improve your mood. What a great feeling you have after you've sat down and in your mind you've won the race, right? That can certainly help improve your mood or spark inspiration. It's really quite incredible. Our minds are, it just always blows me away at the power of our brains and how most of us just don't tap into all that is there available to us. So let me just tell you my own little personal story about visualization that happened to me about a year ago now. So I got an email one day, and boy, if you've heard this story, I'm sorry, and I'm going to try and not make it too long because I have a tendency to drag my stories on. Last year, so my memoir came out on August, oh my goodness, can you believe I can't remember? August 9th of 2023. And in mid-July, I got an email from the Oprah Daily Insider Club that Oprah was coming to New York to tape a show on weight loss. And some of you might have already seen the show because it has been aired, or parts of it have been aired. And weight loss and something else, doesn't matter. And I thought, oh my goodness, I want to get a ticket. So they sent the email because as a Oprah Daily Insider who lives close to New York, it was free. And they were choosing people, and I had no idea what the criteria was. Was it how quickly I got back? Was it what I said in the email? I had no idea. And so I quickly answered back, yes, yes, yes. And maybe a week later, they wrote back to me and they asked me a question. Had I struggled with my weight? And I got this email the morning that I was leaving for vacation for a week. And I wrote back and I told them, yes, I've had a lifelong struggle and whatever, blah, blah, blah. I left on a Friday. The show taping was going to be a week from that Monday. So I needed to find out that whole week that I was on vacation. I needed to know if I was going to get the ticket. I was coming back on Saturday and I was available on Monday. The funny thing was, out of a 3-week period of time, literally, I was only available one day, and it was that Monday. So, of course, I was racing to my email the first couple of days, and there was nothing. And then I sat on the beach and I visualized, and I have no idea why this is what came into my head. I visualized them calling me and telling me I got the ticket, not emailing me, which is strange because they never said that they were going to call me. And I said, I have a feeling, and I visualized getting that phone call. I visualized going to, the event. And I actually had been thinking to myself, oh my goodness, my book, I had my book, even though it hadn't, officially launched yet. What if I'm able to give my book to a producer who will actually hand it to Oprah? And so I was visualizing the whole thing. And you know what? We were coming back on Friday, not Saturday, and we're driving home, but Friday's the last business day, right? So if I don't hear today, I don't have the tickets. But it was early in the morning on Monday. And I'm driving home on Friday, and I stop, my kids and I stop for lunch, and my phone rings, and it doesn't say Oprah or Harpo or any of those things. It was, I don't remember even what number it was. And I thought, I'm answering it, even though if I thought it was spam, I usually wouldn't answer. I'm like, I'm going to answer. And it was a producer. P.S. I got the tickets. My cousin and I went. It was an amazing experience. Oprah was incredible and just what you would imagine. And I had my book. And when I saw how few people were there, I thought, okay, I'm going to wait. But in my mind over the weekend, I thought to myself, I'm going to be able to give this book to Oprah. And I was. At the end of the show or the shows, Oprah was very generous, and she was hanging around and taking pictures with everyone. And I kind of waited my turn. And when it was my turn, I actually didn't even take a picture with her. I spoke to her, and she was very present, only looked at me, listened to what I had to say. And I gave her my book. She looked at it. She said the title. She loved the title. It was an amazing, amazing experience. Now, can I say for sure, 100%, that visualization process helped me get there? No, I can't. But I'll tell you, I was prepared, and I put myself in that situation. I felt the feelings, which is a very big part, and I'll talk in a minute about visualization, is feeling everything that you would actually feel, all your senses, what you'd feel, what you'd smell, what you'd taste, what you'd hear, like really visualizing everything about being in that moment. I'm sure you know the story about Jim Carrey, and I find this, I just love this, is that, he was a broke actor, and I don't have the years. I think it was like 1986. I could be wrong. And he wrote a $10 million check to himself for acting services rendered. And he dated it 10 years in the future. And almost 10 years to the day, he signed a contract to star in Dumb and Dumber for the sum of $10 million. Wow. I don't know about you, but I don't see any reason why you wouldn't give this a try. Okay. So how do you do it? You find a quiet place, you close your eyes, you take some deep breaths, and you picture either whether it's the goal or whether you're picturing the steps that you need to take in as much detail as possible. Again, engaging all of your senses, feeling all of those emotions, and doing it over and over and over again. And I have to be honest with you, I think that the repetition is almost what I don't want to say find the hardest, but it's a habit, right? It's something that isn't going to happen with so many of the things that I talk about and that I've learned. I feel like I have so many things, for goodness sake, all of these habits could take half a day every day. And that's just not practical. So whether it's 5 minutes a day, whether it's 5 minutes twice a week, whatever it is, remember, something is better than nothing. And it's always better to start off small, because if you're going to say, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to visualize every morning for 10 minutes. And if you don't, which chances are something will happen to derail you, you might throw your hands up in disgust and say, okay, forget it. I can't do this. So start small. Start visualizing one thing. You know, so many of us have many goals. Visualize one thing and gradually incorporate it into your day, wherever that may, you know what, maybe it's in bed before you fall asleep. That's what you're going to do. What a great way to drift off to sleep, right? Is to visualize that goal that you're striving for. You got to try to be consistent. And, you know, I'm talking to myself because I seem to only practice it when I have, I don't know, I did it for Oprah. I did it for Oprah twice, to be fair. There was another time where Brooke Shields was the guest and I got another one of these emails and I did not get the ticket. But I did do it. I was a guest back at the end of November on the Kelly Clarkson show, which was an incredible honor. And I actually took a picture. Okay, so I'm technologically challenged. So I don't want to get up and get away from my microphone. I don't have much time. But I printed out a picture of Kelly interviewing somebody else. And then I cut out a picture of my head, taped it on the other person's body because I couldn't figure out how to do the Photoshop thing. And I sat it right next to my computer. From the time I knew it was a small possibility that I might have a shot to get on the show. And I looked at it every day. And when I looked at it, for me, that helped to remind me. And when I would then, during the day, look at the picture, close my eyes, and do a 5-minute visualization. And so when I got that email telling me that I was going to be a guest on Kelly's show, I was over the moon, excited, but I wasn't shocked. And when I actually was on, yes, I was nervous, but I was grounded. I had experienced it. I knew what I was going to feel like. And yes, I felt it more strongly when it actually happened, but I was prepared. So listen, I want you to try this. I want you to try this, and I want you to commit to trying it. You know, let's just go with, can you do it twice a week? Twice a week. Set a timer. Start with twice a week for 5 minutes. And maybe write down what you're visualizing first. Write down your goals. Write down your details, which we talked about before, to make that visualization more effective. And then let me know how this has changed your life. I can't wait to hear. And I can't wait to talk to you again next week, where next week I'm going to have a guest joining me. And I'm not going to tell you much else about it. So you're going to just have to tune in. So thank you so much for listening and for being there. And please email me at debbie@debbierweiss.com with any questions, comments, successes, anything. I love to hear from you. And until next time. Thanks for spending part of your day with me here on Maybe I Can, exploring possibilities one sprinkle at a time. It's been great having you, and I hope you're leaving with a spark to light up your journey to more. Remember, every big change starts with a single maybe. If you're ready to kickstart that change but not sure where to begin, I've got just the thing for you. Head over to download my free guide, The One Critical Step to Kickstart Change, and take that all-important first step. Let's make those maybes into reality one sprinkle at a time. Catch you next Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific with more stories, tips, and that extra push you might need. I'm Debbie saying goodbye for now, but always remember, maybe, just maybe, you can.